Are you worried about how social media controls our lives? Today I'm going to show you why these algorithms are able to manipulate us and how we can break that influence fast. Coming up. Welcome to the Power of Quiet, showing you how to realize the love and the power and the freedom that's inside of you right now. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing because everything that we do here shows you how to be everything that you want to be. Now, a couple of days ago, I was watching that Netflix documentary, The Social Dilemma. And if you haven't seen it, this documentary interviews a number of people who were quite high up in tech and social media companies. And they were talking about this big monster that they created and how they developed these systems that could predict our behavior for profit very accurately. Like they literally know when we go to the bathroom. And you may have heard that story about the father who started getting ads in the mail, offers for his daughter's pregnancy, and she didn't even know that she was pregnant, but the algorithms already predicted it. And that created a dramatic scene. Now, another thing that they pointed out is how addictive these platforms are. And they're designed to be addictive. They figured out how to trigger a dopamine hit in us so that, like, we gotta go open up the app. We gotta check. Did I get a like on that post that I made? Is there something new in my news feed? Is there something new to watch? We just keep going at it again and again with an intensity that's disturbing. And what's even scarier than that, they describe how they figured out how to change our thinking and manipulate our behavior and literally control us. Now, this sounds incredibly dystopian, to say the least. And I was watching some conversations from some friends of mine talking about the documentary, and they were talking about how evil these companies are. How do we get out of their clutches? And in a way, they're right. These systems, these platforms, are a problem, and the people running them, they're pretty nefarious. But they're not the problem. The real problem is in us. You see, we've been subject to habits, automatic behavior, addictions, and we've been subject to being manipulated, to having our thoughts controlled long before the internet and social media platforms came around. That's nothing new. The difference is that with the power of computing and AI, they've been able to ramp up the ability to push our buttons to such an extreme degree that now it's extremely obvious. And this isn't a bad thing. This is actually a good thing. This is a wake-up call because it highlights what we've been doing to ourselves our whole life, giving our power away to our mind, giving our power away to circular, repetitive thoughts, to habits, to addictions, to seeking out a little bit of pleasure, that little dopamine hit. We've been doing that to ourselves. And the great thing that these algorithms and these social platforms now show us is the nature of the mind. You see, these algorithms wouldn't be so accurate, and they wouldn't be able to manipulate the mind so efficiently unless the mind itself is just a machine, just like a computer itself. And just like a computer, If you put garbage in, you get garbage out. And just like a machine or a computer, you push a button, you get a result. It shows that's what the mind is. And if we give our power away to the mind, if we identify with that thing, think that that mind is the all of us, which a lot of times we do, then we're a slave to it. We're subject to it. But if we just take a moment and stop and examine, what is the mind really? What is it? Like, what is the mind? How do you experience your mind? It's just like a sound, a voice in your head. And with social media addiction, it's that voice in your head that says, oh, go reach for that phone. Go check that news feed. Go see if there's anything there. And again and again and again. It's just that voice in your head that's prodding you, poking you. That's a manipulator. And if you just stop and examine that voice, everything that it talks about, everything that it brings forward to you, is all stuff from the past, isn't it? Doesn't it like repeat the same songs over and over and over? What they call it, like an earworm? Or it just talks about the same problems that it was talking about last week and the week before that and the month before that? Doesn't it mull over the same stories again and again and again and again? And when you confront a new situation, your mind analyzes this new situation based on information from the past. So basically, what this shows you when you look at the mind is that it's nothing more than a recording and playback machine, like a tape recorder. That's all it does. It just records everything, and it plays it back to you, whether you want to listen to it or not. So you get a recording in there. It says, oh, I get a little bit of satisfaction when I get a like. All right? And then it's just like, I need that again. And then it hits you with that dopamine, that little burst of happiness. And it's always fleeting. As soon as you do it, the happiness is already gone. Oh, I'm already dissatisfied. Oh, let me refresh it. Go for some more. Oh, no, this isn't any good. Let's refresh it again. Oh, there's something there. Oh, boom, another burst of happiness. And like I said, as long as you identify with this mind, then that's all that you are. And then, of course, you become literally a bot in the whole system. That's all you are. And that's what they were demonstrating in the documentary. How these social platforms literally just turn you into a machine, like you're plugged into the matrix. You're just manipulated and controlled. But you're more than that, obviously. You see, you can experience that right now. Because if you examine your mind, you take a look at that voice that's talking to you. It's always talking to you. Who's it talking to? Who are you who's listening to it? Who are you, or what are you that's aware that there's a voice talking to you? And just look at that if you can. It's kind of difficult to pinpoint, right? Because it's part of you. That is the awareness. It has no body. It has no name. It has no voice. It has no sound to it. It's just still and present and quiet. And this is a part of you that's greater than the mind. And this is a part of you that cannot be influenced by the mind or influenced by any of those algorithms or anything else out in the world. And this is a part of you that has all of your happiness, where you don't need to get it from a like or something new on your news feed. When you experience this awareness and you identify with that, then you find all the happiness, all the freedom, and all the abundance that you've been looking for. That's how powerful you are. And here we show you how to bring this out. So what I'll do here is just show you a simple way to get out of your mind and start identifying with the real you. Now, see if you have a concern, like you're worried about where we're going with social media, where we're going with these tech companies. And you could see the effects. You could see how people get polarized, especially with this upcoming election. Boy, I mean, it's like we're getting further and further apart to the point where we're at the brink of war. And this is almost obvious that it's caused by social media, putting us in our bubbles where we only get one point of view and we make the other one wrong. And we just get further and further apart, and we can't understand why those people don't see things the way we do. Well, that's because they're just seeing a whole different picture through social media. So just take a look at all this stuff that's happening and where we're going. And maybe you can find yourself addicted and like constantly consumed by your phone and missing out on life. And when you think about this, now, like I said before, from the neck up, it's just a recording and playback machine. It records things and it plays it all back to you, but it doesn't erase anything up here. But where you can erase this stuff is from the neck down, in the area of your stomach or chest. So why are you thinking about the problems and what you're worried about? I want you to close your eyes and put your head down towards your stomach or chest. And as you're thinking about this problem with social media, this problem with addiction, with manipulation, all this stuff, notice if you feel a tightness or a contraction, like a gripping feeling in your stomach or chest. Feel that? Now this is where you can erase it. Erase all this negativity and get to a free space where you can see things clearly and really be yourself. So wherever you feel this gripping feeling, this contraction in your stomach or chest, open up an imaginary window or door right in front of that energy. And just imagine that energy moving out the door. Just imagine it leaving, whatever it looks like to you. Just use your imagination. And just see it as energy moving out the door. And watch it leave a little bit more. And a little bit more. And a little bit more. And even more. And it's just energy. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just energy passing through. And just watch this energy leave out that door. And watch it leave a little bit more. And a little bit more. And a little bit more. And even more. And even more. And just let it pass through. It's just energy passing through. And let it leave even more. Just keep that door open and let that energy leave. Now notice how you feel. You notice a difference? Does it feel lighter? That's all we're looking for. It's just a lighter feeling. You notice that? And this shows you how you can let go of negativity. See, that's how we fueled our mind. We've been doing this our whole life. We've been loading ourselves up with negativity. Every time things happened to us that we didn't like, what did we do? We pushed our feelings down, our frustration, our fears. We didn't like those feelings, so we tried to manage them, but we just suppressed them. And by suppressing them, they didn't go anywhere. We just pushed them right into us, and then we carry them around. And then we just collect more and more as we go through life. And that's how, as we go through life, we seem to get heavier and heavier and more unfree. And it's because of suppressing all this negativity that it feeds the mind, and it feeds this need for us to look for happiness wherever we can get it. We can just get that little taste of happiness here or there because we covered up all of our happiness by suppressing our feelings. But what you just experienced here is doing the opposite, letting go of these feelings. And as you're doing it, see that lighter feeling? That's your happiness that's been inside of you all this time, covered up by the negativity. And as you keep bringing this up, it clears out, and then you're happy all the time. And when you're happy all the time, you're satisfied in the now, in this moment. You don't need anything. You're not looking for anything in the future. And you don't need anything, like from your phone. You don't need anything from a feed to make you happy or to entertain you. You're just entertained in the moment, just happy all the time. And this is a very positive and powerful place where you can create great things spontaneously and quickly. And as you do it more and more, you'll clearly see the true nature of the mind. That is not anything to take seriously. It's just a voice talking to you. And it's a bunch of gobbledygook. When you quiet the mind by letting go of all your negativity, then you become much more intelligent than the thinking mind. You become intuitive. You become just knowing. And this is all an aspect of the real you. And I'll guide you a little bit to start to experience a little bit of this real you. That is not the mind. And it's not the body either. Now close your eyes again, if they're not closed. And get a picture of your mind, whatever that looks like to you. And notice, as you're sitting here with your eyes closed, it's just a picture. And it's your picture. It belongs to you. So since it belongs to you, now imagine this picture just evaporating, dissolving, disappearing away. And let that picture evaporate and dissolve even more. And even more. And even more. And even more. And get a picture of your body, whatever that looks like to you. And here, with your eyes closed, it's just a picture in your mind. I know sometimes it seems very real, but how real could it be if the only way that you experience your body is through electrical impulses? That's the only way that you kind of know that it's there. And what if it's just electrical impulses and there's nothing out there? So just get that picture of your body. And could you allow that picture to evaporate and dissolve? And more. And even more. And even more. and even more, and even more, and even more, and even more. And just let that picture completely disappear. And get a picture of your ego. Like your whole identity, all your memories, all your likes and dislikes, everything that you think makes you you. All that is just a story that you concocted in your mind, just a story that you've been telling yourself. How true can that be? But just get a picture of your ego, whatever that means to you. Could you allow that picture to just evaporate and dissolve? That identity, your name, everything. Just imagine it evaporating and dissolving. And more. And even 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 more. And let me ask you, if you're not your mind, if you're not your body, if you're not your ego, then who are you? And don't try to figure it out. There's no right or wrong answer. Just take whatever comes to you. And just surrender to that. Let that answer take you wherever it's going. If you're not your mind, if you're not your body, if you're not your ego, if you're not that story, who are you? What are you? And just take what you get. And notice where this is taking you is not so bad. It's pretty quiet and expansive, and it's very alive. Notice that? Now this is just a taste of what's inside of you, the greatness that you've been covering up with all the thinking and all the feelings, all the negativity. And you have proven that you can remove this and see the real you very, very quickly. Now, if you're interested in really uncovering this, I have a whole 21-day course that shows you how to go into the mind, just like a computer. See all the garbage that's in there, the garbage that has been deluding you and controlling you, so you can see it and remove it very efficiently. And just be who you really are. I'll put a link to it down in the description below, and also a link up here so you can check that out. But you see, you can go in a different direction, and you can be free of all the problems in the world and have the world be as you want it to be. Check it out. Find out for yourself. And thank you for being here and following along. I really appreciate the opportunity to share this with you. And I'll see you on the next video.